The biggest secret in the entertainment industry that really wasn't a secret at all has finally been revealed to the world. The wall of silence has now been broken, and victims are coming forward.
Jay-Z should be charged. Khaled should be charged. Rick Ross should be charged. Usher should be charged and tried with him. Off of Justin Bieber alone.
Brace yourselves for some shocking news, because Diddy's victim's attorney has just dropped a list of high-profile celebrities who were allegedly present while Diddy exploited his victims. Trust me, the names on this list are jaw-dropping. Ever since Diddy has faced scrutiny, whispers have circulated about numerous celebrities who not only witnessed these incidents, but may have even been complicit. The most disturbing revelation? Many victims were minors, with some as young as 9 years old, eager to make their mark in the industry. Instead of finding mentorship, they encountered a terrifying nightmare that left them traumatized. Now, the attorney representing these victims is ready to back up their claims with evidence, naming influential figures in the industry who were part of the problem. Let's dive into this. Attorney Tony Busby has shaken the entertainment world by announcing that his firm represents a staggering 120 victims.
We now represent 120 individuals who intend to bring civil claims in civil court against Sean Diddy Combs,
each with harrowing accounts of their interactions with Diddy. But that's just the start. In just 2 weeks, Busby's firm received over 3,000 calls from individuals claiming they were wronged by Diddy in some capacity. Contrary to what many thought, these 120 victims are not consolidating their cases into a single class action lawsuit. Instead, they are each filing individual civil suits, setting the stage for a potentially unending series of court battles, allowing every victim a platform to tell their story and reveal what allegedly happened. But Diddy isn't the only one under scrutiny. Busby made it clear that anyone who participated, remained silent, or helped cover up these actions will be held accountable. No one is getting a pass. While specific names haven't been disclosed yet, Busby emphasized that his team is meticulously validating every detail so that when those names come to light, they will have solid evidence to back up the allegations. And trust me, these names are bound to send shockwaves through the industry. We're talking about A-listers, powerful figures, and even politicians and athletes. It's not just individuals. Busby hinted that entire businesses, from banks to nightclubs and hotels, may have been involved in facilitating Diddy's alleged misconduct. Just how many people did Diddy intimidate or silence to shield himself from the fallout remains a critical question. The demographics of the victims Busby revealed were equally startling. His firm represents a nearly equal number of male and female victims, with around 60% being black, 30% white, and the rest a mix of Hispanic and Asian individuals. The ages of these victims vary significantly, with some shockingly young at the time of their alleged encounters with Diddy. About 25 of the victims were minors during these incidents. This unfolding case has sent the industry into a tailspin and raised urgent questions about the extent of these accusations. Now, if you're curious about how Diddy managed to get so close to so many young boys and girls, prepare for something chilling. Allegedly, many of these kids were drawn in through auditions and casting calls, lured by big promises of fame and fortune, only to find themselves ensnared in Diddy's web. What seemed like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity quickly turned into a terrifying experience as these eager hopefuls, desperate to break into the industry, fell into what has now been described as a sinister trap.
Most of these events and incidents occurred at parties, typically after parties, or album release parties, New Year's Eve parties, 4th of July parties, something they called a puppy party, the all-white party, although several of these events occurred at auditions. Many times, especially young people wanting to break into the industry, were coerced into this type of conduct in the promise of being made a star, or in the promise of having Sean Combs listen to their tape or even let them read for Sean Combs. You should know that some of this behavior occurred at well-known venues in New York City. Some of this behavior occurred at private residences of people that we all know. Some of this behavior occurred at hotels that we're all familiar with.
But it gets even more disturbing. According to Busby, over half of these victims had already reported their experiences to the police and sought medical treatment afterward. Yet somehow, these cases mysteriously vanished. Whether dismissed due to lack of evidence or buried for other shadowy reasons, the fact remains. Records show that many victims underwent substance screening. The results were harrowing, revealing high concentrations of substances in their systems, including horse tranquilizers. If you're wondering how these victims were unknowingly spiked with something so extreme, here's the chilling answer. Drinks were reportedly spiked at Diddy's infamous parties. Refusing a drink wasn't an option. If you turned one down, you'd be shown the door, no questions asked. Tony Busby is not letting up. He's keeping the identities of these victims private while revealing the eerie patterns emerging from their stories. Each account follows a disturbingly similar script. And while Diddy might be under heavy fire, it's becoming increasingly clear that he couldn't have pulled off these alleged acts alone. He had powerful allies. The A-listers caught in the crossfire. When it comes to high-profile relationships, Jay-Z and Beyoncé are certainly one of the most discussed. For a long time, they seemed inseparable from Diddy, forming a formidable trio often spotted together at extravagant parties and events. However, things took a sharp turn when Diddy found himself embroiled in legal issues, prompting Jay-Z and Beyoncé to quickly distance themselves. In fact, Jay-Z went so far as to cancel his well-known Roc Nation brunch, aiming to sidestep any potential fallout from being linked to Diddy. While they might be projecting an image of stability, the whispers and accumulating evidence tell a different story behind the scenes. Adding fuel to the fire, there have long been rumors suggesting a deeper relationship between Diddy and Jay-Z than mere friendship. Observers have noted Diddy's flirtatious behavior at parties, implying that their late-night escapades might not have been as innocent as they appeared. But wait, it gets even murkier. Sources close to the situation claim that Beyoncé was not only aware of Diddy's notorious parties, but may have even participated. There are unsettling reports suggesting a compromising tape of Diddy and Beyoncé is being circulated, supposedly on the brink of being sold. This story emerged from attorney Ariel Mitchell-Kidd, who disclosed shocking information regarding a client suing Diddy over a traumatic incident. According to her, this client met Diddy at a friend's gathering in 2018. After accepting a drink, she soon felt unwell, realizing too late it had been spiked. What happened next was horrifying. Diddy allegedly assaulted her with an object while another man participated, all under the watchful eye of his assistant, Christina Coram, often referred to as Diddy's right hand. Disturbingly, the victim overheard discussions about tracking her during the assault. These revelations paint a deeply unsettling portrait, indicating a pervasive culture of abuse and complicity that implicates not just Diddy, but a whole network of powerful figures.
She told me that she was at a friend's house who had industry ties and was on the phone with Diddy, and he decided to come to the house. And when he came to the house, everything was fine, that there was another woman there who we've determined to be Christina Coram, KK, who Diddy talks about a lot as his right-hand woman, if you will, and that they were discussing sex trafficking her. And then that led to her being served a drink where then she started to feel woozy. And then Mr. Combs sexually assaulted her with an inanimate object, and then actually directed another gentleman to sexually assault her while he watched and pleasured himself.
The woman managed to escape the horrific scene, screaming for help until a neighbor intervened and called the authorities. However, by the time the police arrived, Diddy had already fled, leaving behind a cloud of suspicion as the investigation stalled. Attorney Ariel Mitchell claims Diddy used his wealth and influence to silence the police, a tactic she insists he has employed before to keep his scandals hidden. Returning to the shocking allegations surrounding a certain tape, Ariel Mitchell dropped another bombshell. someone reached out to her to help facilitate the sale of a scandalous tape featuring Diddy and an A-list celebrity. While she remained tight-lipped about the celebrity's identity, she hinted that this figure may be even more prominent than Diddy himself. The most chilling detail? This star reportedly had no clue they were being recorded. This revelation adds a dark layer to an already tangled web of allegations, indicating that Diddy's influence could reach even higher echelons in the entertainment industry.
I also was just recently contacted by someone who wanted me to essentially represent them in the sale of one of the Diddy tapes. So, which I declined that because...
Wait a minute, say that again. Say that again, back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is
Yes,
new.
there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of, and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became a public knowledge.
I've heard this before, so like a catch and kill.
Catch and kill, correct.
Wow, can you, and I guess you can't reveal the person who is on
No,
this
I can't
tape.
explain who the person was, but Mr.
High profile?
Mr. Combs was in the tape, and this other person is, I would venture to say, more high profile than Mr. Combs.
Really? Really? And you've seen it? Or
I've seen stills of the video.
Okay.
So
you can verify
that it exists, that it's real, that the other person in the video is very visible. It's no question if it's that person in the video, and I can tell the video was pornographic in nature.
Oh my, all right. So we know that he videotaped a lot of activities at his home, Diddy. And it sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes, this was actually in his Atlanta home, at
Okay.
a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't like looking into the video, so it's, to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. It doesn't seem like they're active participant in the videotaping.
The rumors surrounding Diddy's alleged practice of secretly recording his encounters have sparked a frenzy of speculation, particularly regarding the identity of this mysterious A-list figure. Naturally, many eyes have turned to Beyoncé. Adding another layer to the intrigue, rapper DaBaby recently recounted an eyebrow-raising experience at Diddy's home, describing it as a secret meeting attended by Jay-Z and Beyoncé. According to DaBaby, things got tense when Beyoncé appeared unusually friendly, as if something unexpected was about to happen. Diddy eventually dismissed everyone else, leaving just the three of them, Diddy, Beyoncé, and Jay-Z. DaBaby shared that Diddy began behaving inappropriately, even grabbing him by the neck and exhibiting a rather unsettling fondness for him. Wherever Diddy is involved, there seems to be a consistent theme of wild parties and unexpected twists, featuring Hollywood's elite and rising stars. The narrative has grown to include even bigger names, with Will and Jada Smith now coming under scrutiny. Allegations about their connections to younger men in the industry emerged following an interview with their former bodyguard, Bilal, who claimed to have witnessed an intimate encounter between Will Smith and actor Dwayne Martin.
So, all right, I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having with Will.
Let me process that for a second. Who was on top?
It wasn't a top. There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up.
The Smiths have tried to silence Bilal, claiming he's spreading falsehoods and even threatening legal action against him.
We're going to take legal action. Because it's one thing to have your opinion about somebody versus just making up salacious, malicious stories. Mm-hmm. So that's actionable, so we're going to roll with that.
But Bilal is standing firm. He insists he has the evidence to back his claims and has targeted Jada as well, calling her a narcissist who demands to be treated like royalty. He went further, alleging she has some serious health issues and bizarre addictions, including ecstasy, pornography, and even bestiality.
You're a bald-head liar, and you're a drug addict. If you don't sue me, this is what's going to happen. All the sex parties, right? And the men that you hit with dildos, I'm naming names. right? All the salacious stuff that you have done and hurt other people, I'm naming names.
Jaguar Wright has made shocking allegations that the Smiths have hosted wild parties where young men were exposed to situations they didn't consent to. Numerous young men have reportedly confided in her about being taken advantage of during these gatherings. But the real jaw-dropper? Rumors are swirling that Diddy has footage of all the celebrities who attended these notorious parties. From the Carters to the Smiths, anyone who stepped into a Diddy bash could potentially have their actions recorded, possibly even in the hands of federal authorities right now.
You know, it's no secret in Hollywood that Jada hates me because I have a strong relationship with Will and I do my own thing.
Why don't she hate Dwayne?
I can't answer that question.
Why don't she hate Dwayne Martin?
Well, she's gonna love anybody that treats her like she's a god, right?
And he's not really exaggerating. Usher wiped all his previous posts from social media right after Diddy's arrest. Now, why would he do that? Reports suggest that Usher might not just have been a victim of Diddy. He allegedly acted as a handler for him at one point, supposedly assisting Diddy in getting close to Justin Bieber and other young male artists. Here's the shocking part. More victims continue to step forward by the thousands each day, filing separate lawsuits against the high-profile names accused of victimizing them. Diddy's notorious white parties in the Hamptons are no secret. However, the real actions behind those closed doors take it to a whole new level. These gatherings act as playgrounds for Diddy's most depraved fantasies. According to the latest reports, Diddy would invite some of the biggest names in rap, R&B, and Hollywood to his estate. Once the official part of the event wrapped up, that was the signal for Diddy to clear everyone out except for a select few individuals he had chosen for his after-party, which allegedly consisted mainly of young men from the music industry. Rumor also has it that Diddy had a particular focus on certain rappers and singers, and while some seem to be on board with the whole experience, they didn't sign up for the secret recordings of all the raunchy activities. The internet is buzzing with theories that this high-profile figure could be Jay-Z. For starters, Jay and Diddy have maintained a close friendship over the years. Diddy has even gone so far as to say that Jay is the only person, besides his mother, who has the privilege of calling him by his real name. Now, let's not forget Jay-Z's past, which has its share of controversies, including rumors surrounding his relationships with younger individuals. One of the most talked about cases involves the mother of his alleged son, Rymir Satterthwaite, who was only 16 when Jay-Z reportedly got her pregnant. This history may be why Jay has dodged taking a paternity test for Rymir. Before Jay-Z became besties with Diddy, he was also associated with R. Kelly, another infamous figure known for targeting young people. Then, there are those whispers about Jay-Z's rumored bisexuality. Allegedly, his PR team has been working overtime to quash these stories, but the internet has a way of holding on to dirt. Back in the day, there were rumors swirling around Jay-Z and former football player Larry Johnson, who had a modeling stint. They were said to have lived together for a period, which raises eyebrows. Notably, Johnson has faced multiple arrests for domestic violence over the years, which adds another layer of intrigue to the friendship. An anonymous tipster once claimed to have seen Jay-Z and Johnson living in Trump Tower, suggesting a close bond, especially since Beyoncé was supposedly never around. Fans have also scrutinized Jay-Z's treatment of Beyoncé. We all know about the cheating scandal, but beyond that, many have pointed out that Jay-Z doesn't seem to show her much affection in public. Even when Beyoncé praises him, he often doesn't return the sentiment. Interestingly, he once brought another man along on his first date with Beyoncé, adding more fuel to the fire. Jay-Z's alleged hidden lifestyle has come under scrutiny, particularly with claims from former associate Jaz-O, who suggested that Jay-Z engaged in sexual acts with superiors to advance in the music industry. This controversial interview, which has since vanished from online platforms, was first shared on Lipstick Alley in 2009, lending some credibility to Jaz-O's assertions among fans. A resurfaced blind item from the late 90s or early 2000s spoke of two high-profile hip-hop moguls who secretly lived a discreet lifestyle while enjoying their fame. Initially speculated to involve Jay-Z and his former partner Dame Dash, many fans now believe it more closely pertains to Jay-Z and Diddy. In light of the accusations surrounding Diddy, Jay-Z's silence has sparked speculation that he could be a victim himself, potentially recorded without his knowledge during consensual encounters, which could serve as leverage against him. This theory might explain Jay-Z's reluctance to distance himself from Diddy amid growing scandals and legal troubles for the latter. Reports indicate that Diddy may possess an extensive collection of recordings from his parties, potentially using these as blackmail against various figures in the entertainment industry. The fear of these tapes being leaked could be keeping many high-profile individuals quiet, especially if minors were involved in any recordings. The looming question is whether Diddy will reveal names or be silenced before he can implicate someone more powerful. Diddy faces serious allegations that could lead to a life sentence, particularly as investigations reveal that minors were involved, including one as young as 9 years old. Now adults, these victims are ready to hold the former mogul accountable. Authorities are reportedly prepared to unveil further shocking details, with over 3,000 individuals ready to come forward. In a press conference on October 1st, attorney Tony Busby disclosed alarming allegations against Diddy. His firm is pursuing civil lawsuits for various claims, including mistreatment and battery. Notably, they've received calls from approximately 3,000 individuals who report being traumatized by Diddy.
They got 3,000 calls, and I want you to find that one. Let me just read this here. So, Diddy's list of accomplices to be revealed in a new lawsuit.
The firm has verified the accounts of 120 victims, and that number is anticipated to grow. The demographics of these victims reveal a disturbing pattern. 60 are men and 60 are women, indicating a broad range of Diddy's alleged predatory behavior. While there were initial rumors that he targeted black individuals, it appears his actions affected various communities. According to statistics, 62% of the plaintiffs identify as African American, 30% as white, with others including Hispanic and Asian individuals from over 25 states. The incidents reportedly span from 1991 to 2024, raising significant concern, especially with 25 of the victims being minors at the time. One of the most shocking revelations includes a 9-year-old coerced into sexual favors for a record deal during an audition. Another victim, lured to New York City, was offered drinks that incapacitated him, leading to exploitation. Additional testimonies describe victims being manipulated into compromising situations, including being rendered unconscious at Diddy's parties, where they experienced trauma and exploitation. Some victims reported finding illicit substances in their systems, including xylazine, a potent tranquilizer used in veterinary medicine. As the number of victims rises, reports indicate over 12,000 calls were made to a hotline established for those seeking to come forward following Busby's press conference. With such a deluge of cases, the team is working diligently to sort through testimonies and gather evidence, even bringing in a former detective from the Houston Police Department for assistance. Busby emphasized the complexity of these cases, highlighting the challenges victims may face when recounting their experiences, especially given Diddy's power and influence. Many victims were initially met with indifference when attempting to report their experiences, as Diddy's connections allowed him to manipulate investigations and intimidate them into silence. Now, however, those without power feel emboldened to confront him. Approximately 55% of the victims have filed reports, which will serve as essential evidence moving forward. A critical question remains. If Diddy has mistreated these individuals, why weren't those allegations included in the initial indictment? Legal experts speculate that the situation is still evolving, suggesting the possibility of new charges as investigations continue. It's vital to understand the distinction between criminal and civil cases, as they operate under different standards of proof. In civil cases, the burden of proof is lower, which may be particularly challenging when dealing with minors, whose memories can be unreliable, especially if medication was involved. In an unusual twist, a former child who attended a Diddy party in the Hamptons in 1991 has come forward. Now 30, Justin Lovsky, who was there with his photographer father, didn't become a victim but recalls an unsettling atmosphere at the event.
He recalls what he saw at the party.
So I remember marijuana and topless women. That's the two main things that I remember.
Including a notable absence of other children and a scene filled with inappropriate behavior. Many are questioning why Justin didn't notice Diddy's questionable activities. It's essential to recognize that Diddy organized these events, presenting a family-friendly front while the true chaos unfolded behind closed doors. Those familiar with the scene understood the stark contrast between a typical Diddy party and what occurred after hours, likely shielding Justin from the darker realities. The implications of this case extend beyond Diddy. Busby indicated that other celebrities could also face scrutiny, not just for witnessing Diddy's actions, but for participating in them, with more names set to emerge. Notable figures linked to Diddy include Aretha Franklin, Jay-Z, Beyoncé, Kim Kardashian, Paris Hilton, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Leonardo DiCaprio. Busby's strategy involves filing individual lawsuits for 120 victims rather than a class action, allowing for detailed public revelations about who was involved. He plans to pursue legal action against high-profile venues where incidents allegedly occurred, aiming to hold accountable not just Diddy, but anyone complicit or negligent, including venue owners. Diddy's attorney, Erica Wolf, has dismissed the allegations as financially motivated, asserting that her client denies any wrongdoing. However, Busby claims to have substantial evidence supporting the allegations, including videos and police reports. If he can prove minors were present at these parties, it could severely damage Diddy's defense. Busby has a strong background in handling high-profile cases, previously representing multiple plaintiffs against NFL player Deshaun Watson. Busby is actively working to ensure Diddy is held accountable, having already linked some plaintiffs with federal authorities. Fans are keen to see the truth revealed in court, with many emphasizing the importance of victim testimonies and expressing hope for justice and healing for those affected.